Looks like we are good to go. What's going on, guys? Welcome to another video. This is your boy NarikChase, and in this video, we're going to be talking about episode 36 of the Streamline podcast. And if you stay tuned to a video I done previously for episode 35, you know I talked about potential Force Unleashed 3 game, what ideas concerning that game. And in this one, I wanted to talk about another game in the Star Wars franchise that I think has great potential, and that would be another a fighting Star Wars game. Now they have several racing games, adventure games, story-based games, war games, but Star Wars does not have an extensive list of fighting video games. Uh, the best I've seen, so not really the best, really the only ones that I actually kind of pulled up were Star Wars lightsaber battles, which seems like which is based on the Clone Wars series, I believe, which it looked actually pretty cool, and pretty good. And also, there's the Masters of Terras Kasi, which was like on the first PlayStation. And, they had a bit of a revamp of a fighting game in Revenge of the Sith game, and of course, you had cameos from Starkiller, Yoda, and Vader in the Soul Calibur series. So they've done some things with Star Wars and fighting games, but I feel like there's a lot that they could do with Star Wars and fighting games, especially given the extensively long list of characters that could be in a freaking game. Um, so, without further ado, look like we are gonna get into this video. Um, all right. There are several things that I do want to bring up, several points. And this is one thing I would like to see in a game like this, and that would be character creator. And character creator is always awesome. It's always something I've liked in video games, and I would not mind seeing character creator in the Star Wars fighting game. Mainly because I've seen it done so well in other fighting games. Mortal Kombat Annihilation, Soul Calibur 3. Oh, God. Damn. I'm sorry. I ate some Waffle House and just about to put me out. But anyways, I would definitely like to see a character creator that'll give us... Um, I would like to see a character creator. One, allowing us to pick two classes, either a lightsaber person or a gunfighter, because we have a lot of gunfighter type characters. The reason why, and I get into the specifics of the gameplay later, but like I said, I would like to have lightsaber based characters, which are more of the Force users, as well as the more humanoid types, the regular human types who would use blasters and stuff like that, and kind of have their own fighting techniques as well. Games like Marvel vs. Capcom, Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, Killer Instinct, of course, Soul Calibur, Tekken. They've done a great job of actually having characters with weapons as well as characters without weapons compete against each other. And it's not really an issue. Yes, when you play as Mitsurugi on Soul Calibur, when he hits somebody with a sword, yeah, you should probably kill him. But it's a freaking game, so there's that. We should be able to have that with the character creation class, whether it'll be gunslinger, lightsaber wielder, male, female, whether it be certain alien types, which would be another plus, as well as if we do pick a lightsaber class, or if you do pick a gunfighter class, who would you model their fighting techniques afterwards? That does add it does add a great deal of freedom when it comes to the gameplay, but it also gives it to where you have a good foundation for the character itself and not make it completely random. So I would not mind having a character creation in the Star Wars fighting game. Again, especially considering all the weapons, the different techniques, the different alien races, the different cultures and outfits. So it's pretty much a given. Now, Star Wars has had a hell of a lot of characters. I mean, probably one of the most extensive universes in any franchise, in my opinion. So let's go down a list of some potential characters in for the actual game itself. Chewbacca, Luke, Qui-Gon, Boba Fett, Snook, Han, Obi-Wan, Starkiller, Jango Fett, Leia, the Emperor, um, Finn, Rey, Vader, Anakin, Kylo Ren, a Stormtrooper. Which I always be pretty cool to see what a Stormtrooper could do in a fight. Mace Windu, Ahsoka, Grievous, Sanji Ventress, Elia, Sakura, who was that blue chick with the two tentacles that sticking out the back of her head, Count Dooku, Lominara. What was that badass chick that was actually on the Old Republic? Bastila Shan, Darth Malik, Raven. So those are just a few characters who are a mixture of light force users with lightsabers as well as humans that utilize gunplay. And those are just the tip of the iceberg, considering how big the Star Wars mythos is. Um, Now, of course, you have the various stages, the various levels. When you play that one in Star in the Star Wars stage on Soul Calibur 4, I believe it was, and you're inside the Star Destroyer and you got all this activity going on in the background. That's great setup for like an interesting fighting game. Now, I have not played any of the other fighting games outside of this. In this, if they have any, I haven't played any of them, so I don't know how they play like that. I don't know what stages they have. Some seem like they probably would actually have, but it'd be nice to throw out some levels. I would also like to see interactions too, and I'm a bit spoiled due to the whole Injustice and the Mortal Kombat franchise. So it would be nice to have more of. It would be interesting to have more interactions with the like transitions and stuff like that. And I'm not saying copy Mortal Kombat and Injustice and NetherRealm Studios techniques for a video game, but they might want to look at the model. So there's tons of Coruscant, Tatooine, the Star Destroyer, the Ice Stage, Ice Place from what's the that's usually in the Battlefront games. The Empire Strikes Back, that ice place. Like there are just a shit ton of places they can have this battles at and stuff like that. So as far as level designs, again, I would love to have interactions as well, because I think that would make the world flesh out a lot in the actual fights and make it very active too. Yes, I would like to be on a Star Destroyer and shit's going down in the background. You can see fights, dog fights and stuff going on, and space battles going on outside like the main entrance that's protected by the force field. Or if you're in like that temple place that was in the Force Awakens, and you're having all these fights and dog fights in the air and then blasters and stuff going on the ground. So I think they should do that with the level design. Powers, I wouldn't mind the powers, but do the powers like you would do again, like the model of Injustice, as well as Mortal Kombat. Incorporate them into like the combos and stuff. Let Vader be able to do some punching techniques as well as lightsaber and force abilities, but make them to where like they're special attacks. You would still like to see Vader throw a punch, grab somebody and slam them, use the force and stuff, but don't make it like, okay, force. No, you don't want that. Just like you wouldn't want somebody who has a character that's got blasters be like blast. I think two of the best characters I can give in this instance that'd be a great model for like Boba Fett, Jango, the Stormtroopers is pretty much Deathstroke from Injustice, that gunslinger guy from Mortal Kombat 10, and especially Deadshot from Injustice 2. Like those are great models that you can have those characters kind of copy off of. Even if you take in consideration like Chris Redfield from Marvel vs. Capcom 3, that would be good for like Han Solo. So I wouldn't mind actually seeing those characters step into those shoes a bit. Finn and Han Solo have similar fighting styles, where possibly Finn might actually have a fighting style that's similar to Han Solo as well as a stormtrooper because he was a former stormtrooper. And then you have Jango Fett and Boba Fett who have similar fighting styles because they're related. And then, you know what I'm saying? Like, that would be a very interesting concept as well. The lightsaber styles, yes, all Force users should have like different lightsaber styles. Some should have some that are a bit similar a little bit, like Obi-Wan and Anakin should have similar fighting styles, as well as Vader and Anakin should have similar fighting styles, but Anakin's is more faster paced and Vader's will be more slow and more on powers, just like powerful hits. So like that'll be a pretty interesting idea as well. Think about, of course, Grievous. We have 4 arms, so you have his little techniques. Although I think the 4 arms should be more of a special attack, and he actually just dual wields for the moment. But if you do have that special attack, he uses 4. So I think that'll be pretty cool as well. Of course, Asajj Ventress, she has to Ala Sakura, she has 2 as well. So that'd be 2 dual wielders right there. Maul, of course, uses the 2 that are hooked back to back. So, you know, he does his thing. And even with the butterfly kicks and stuff, you know, that's Darth Maul thing. That's what he is known for. Kicking ass, his the back-to-back lightsaber staff thing, and doing his butterfly kicks. That's his thing. Like, I would like to see that in the freaking game. And plus, I think that'll give us opportunity to actually play the character of Snook a little bit. I wouldn't mind seeing a bit what Snook can do. Yes, you know he's a very powerful Force user, so it'd be nice to see that. As well as what can he do with a potential lightsaber potentially. So I'm all for that. And yes, give us the option to change the character skins. I want to be able to play as the young Obi-Wan, and put in Obi-Wan from the first episode 1, 2, 3, the older movies. Like, that'll be pretty awesome. Anakin, and then the Vader Anakin, or the Anakin from the second movie. You know, it'd be pretty interesting and pretty cool if you could do that. You know what I mean? Even have like a mode where probably Anakin's messed up without his. Now that'd probably be Vader. Have a mode where Vader doesn't have his helmet on. Right? I mean, a skin where Vader doesn't have his helmet on. You can change lightsabers. Yes, Obi-Wan generally uses the blue lightsaber, but let's give him a green one and just see what the hell happens. I would not want to see the Emperor, nor would I like to see Yoda be playable characters. I think they should be like in like the training missions and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Just put them in like the training sections because they both are some mentors of 2 different sides of the Force. So why not? And I guess you could say Emperor Palpatine. I mean, the Emperor could be a fighter because for everything he sucked in doing in the original 3 movies, it would be badass to see his character, what we saw in Revenge of the Sith. That's the best of Emperor Palpatine. He was a badass in that movie. But yeah, I would like to see like the color schemes and different outfits and stuff, and like the character models too, based on what movie. Have the Han Solo from the original trilogies. Bring back the Han Solo from the Force Awakens, as well as put in the Han Solo from the upcoming new Solo movie that's coming out. So that'd be pretty cool. Would not mind seeing Chewbacca. Chewbacca seemed like to be one of those powerhouse types, and that would just whack you and knock you the hell out. I once had somebody play Tekken with me, and they had Jack, and I was getting ready to do attack. Right when the match said just fight, dude just did like this on me, and I just like laid there for like a minute. So I was like, that was pretty funny. And plus, it kind of messed up because I talked a lot of shit. Movie characters, book characters, TV show characters, game characters. Put them all in there. And I did forget one character that also did the whole 2-sided saber thing, which was the, I believe her name, I keep mixing her freaking name up, but still Sean, I think that's her name. Let me see, because I keep messing up this freaking woman's name, and she's like one of my favorite characters. I keep messing her name up, but anyway, it's like she does the same thing that Darth Maul does. So you get to see her do some pretty badass stuff on there too. Still Sean. I think I actually had the wrong character. Yep. I knew that wasn't the right name. It's Satele Shan. Satel Shine, because she's from the Old Republic. Yeah, that's the one I like. Sorry, but I would like to see her in the game as well. I'm butchering this video today, but that's all right. I'm just throwing out pretty good ideas. Again, and I would like to see intro. And you know what? Screw this. I got the perfect. NetherRealm Studios need to pick this license up. They're good with characters. They're good with giving them diverse and very specific abilities and combos and attacks. They're good with the voice performances. They're good with the stories. They're good with the handling of the mechanics. They're good with the freaking intros and outros. There's no reason in the world NetherRealm Studios should not do this. I had a question on here. It said, what studio? In fact, I'm going to show you my note. Where that? See, right there, what studio? NetherRealm Studios. That's the only person I would recommend do this. And I've seen a little bit gameplay of the various, of some of the games. And yes, people would say, would it be unfair to have a Force user fight an actual regular person? And I do not think so, because again, you have games where people get set on fire that should die but don't die because it's an actual game. So if you get hit with a lightsaber or whatever, that's not going to kill you. Yeah, it'll take off your health, and then if the last hit hits you and it kills your character, yeah, that's different. But just because you get hit by in physics wise, just because you get hit by the lightsaber doesn't mean you're going to die in the game. You just get some of your health taken off. So there is that. And I would also like to see damage as well. So the longer you fight, the more damage the outfit gets. Maybe not all that bloody stuff, but if I'm fighting as Vader and I take a certain amount of damage, maybe it could potentially knock my helmet off or crack it or something like that. So I'm all for a fighting game. Let it to be to where we and I'm interested to see if this should be like a story-based game. One of my biggest issue with Tekken Tag Tournament 2 was the fact that it didn't have like an actual campaign. It was kind of like an arcade. Sorry. And I feel like if this fighting game, there was a fighting Star Wars game, I feel it kind of would suffer if there was not an actual story behind it. But it begs the reason is like, if you have an actual story based on this game, would it be any good? And would you have to have one? Or if it's a Star Wars game, would you just basically just recreate the events of the series as the actual main campaign? And then if you're going to introduce all of these older characters and all these future characters, I mean, it's like, where does the story start? Do you just focus the story of the first 6 movies? Do you include like even put old dude from Rogue One, the blind guy? Like, he would be badass too. But it's like, do you include those characters? I'm not a character. Do you include that story? It's like, I'm kind of wishy-washy on the whole story, but do you create an original story? Do you try to retrace the steps of already pre-established stories? Because, like I said, if you do like the first 6 movies, you got to take into consideration what's going on in between the movies, of the extended stuff that's going on, the extended universe that's going on, and then you got to think about the movies that are coming out now. You got to think about what was going on back then. It's like Darth Bane was like a badass in his time. Do we bring him back too? Darth Malak, do we bring them back? So it's like, how far? And is it original story? And like I said, I'm on the fence about it, about the story in the campaign. Of course, I would like it to be I'm on the fence also about tags and support characters and stuff like that. In some instances, I think it could help the gameplay out if you could have like a 2-player tag. That's one thing I loved about the 2011 Mortal Kombat, was you did have a mode where you have like 2 players jumping in and out. And the problem I had with that was sometimes when you're doing combos trying to kick somebody's ass, you press the wrong. It should be just like one button on the back that you press to switch out, but sometimes you can press the 2 buttons down there and switch out automatically. You're like, no, I was in the middle of a combo. We're getting our ass kicked. But as far as the story, I'm not sure about that. I'm still on the fence about that, because it could be a great arcade, but I'm always wanting to see a story when it comes to games like this. And I guess it would be pretty cool to consider this too. Would it be a 2D fighter, or would it be like one of those 3D fighters? Would it be like the Mortal Kombat fighter, or would it be kind of like the Naruto fighter, where it's like an arena? And I think that's also kind of an interesting concept too. I think the mechanics would flow better as a 2D fighter, similar to Mortal Kombat, but it would be pretty cool to have the diversity to move around, especially given the force abilities of some of these characters, well as some of the physical abilities, to help flesh out the gameplay and the fighting and making it very diverse. But anyways, guys, you heard my thoughts on this in the comment section below. Let me know your thoughts on it. As well as points you think should be implemented into this game. And also, be sure to hit that like, share, subscribe, and the notification button to get the best of what's going on this channel. Remember, guys, Tuesdays and Thursdays I do upload videos, so stay tuned for those. And we'll catch you guys later. Peace out.